Hi guys, welcome back to Blue Moon Rising TV. That's it, the transfer window is closed. Pep Guardiola has decided the players that he wants in and wants out for the rest of the season. And boy, it's been a good one.
It's been a very fun window. It's kind of dawned on us when we were making this. We did a lot of Twitter polls yesterday asking you lot how you'd line up and what is the strongest 11. But it dawned on us how difficult that actually is. I do not envy Guardiola at all because that's going to be an impossible task. But it's a good task. It's one of those perfect headaches to have. But yeah, so we asked you guys what you made of it. And we started, obviously, we went through every single position. It doesn't allow for roles and formation changes. But in general, it gave us an idea of what you all thought and how potentially we could line up this season under Guardiola.
I mean, we've had to go for the most sort of the path of least resistance in terms of the formation, and we know that it could change. But this is what you said on Twitter. By the way, if you don't follow us on Twitter, BMRisingTV. Get us on there, and that's where this poll had. So this is City's best 11 as according to you. Let's get straight into it. The goalkeeping issue. This was a hot topic because obviously a big name went out, but a big name has also come in, and I think once he starts playing, Claudio Bravo, he's going to be a fan favourite.
Yeah, well, that's what you all voted. We did ask, and obviously everyone replied saying Joe Hart. We expected that, obviously, of course, that was always going to happen when you ask a question on Twitter to get a sardonic reply.
You are awkward, guys, but
But Claudio Bravo, it was a landslide. He got the vote by a long, long way.
It's like 90% or more.
And Caballero and Gunn, interestingly, obviously both did feature. But the interesting thing for me is that Guardiola did say he'll rotate his keepers, his second choice at very least. So Angus Gunn might actually get a few games on the bench. But I think we don't sign a keeper and get rid of one like Joe Hart and not to use him. So he's obviously going to be our number one. He's got the number one shirt as well, which has upset a few people. But yeah, there's not much more to be said than that because he will be our number one. I think that's obvious.
Okay, on to the defenders now, which obviously now gets a little bit more interesting. So going from starting with the centre backs.
Yes.
So John Stones, he's had man of the match. What you wanted to say?
We're going to say we put all the defenders there, and this is what you voted for: Stones and Company as a centre back pairing. I think that's probably one. Grace Paul was just saying he's had man of the match already. He's been excellent, Stones, and surely Company's our club captain.
Well, the Company one, that's an interesting one. I don't. We said if all the team was fit, which is the team that you would most like to see?
And he's obviously nearly back as well now.
He's training. I think basically the full team is training now, which is great. But Company, the issue with him obviously is if he's fit, but how long is he going to be fit? And Pep Guardiola will have to think about that, and he will be, as we know, he will be brutal. And he will cull him if necessary.
Well, Yaya's just been called from the Champions League squad, so the man he's more ruthless than anyone we've had for a long time. I personally did sense a tiny bit of hesitation towards him to Company in general from Guardiola in terms of, obviously raising, but he did hint at how his injuries could be a problem. So I don't think he's going to...
press conference to me did scream at what he was saying, it was what was
We're not waiting around for you, mate, is what you're saying. He said, you can be a part of this, but it's on you. I'm not going to wait around forever for you.
I keep saying this again and again, but I think a centre-back, the key to a good centre-back or a good defence is having two centre-backs that can play all seasons together, or at least as much as you can. John Terry didn't miss a minute of the league when he played in the season that they won the league, and it says it all.
Yeah, but I think in general though, if everyone's fit and everyone's in form, Company can pass, he can play out.
Yeah,
he's
of course.
A leader.
In an ideal world, it's convincing Company.
Yeah, he's there. He could be his Puyol. He does love a proper defender, despite loving ball players. If Company can pass it as well, that would be our choice there.
With Adebayo, who's not really featured too much so far, but the fact that he's kept him around and he's let Jason Denayer go out, only on loan, so he probably...
I like the fact that Mangala's gone as well, and maybe someone like Denayer's gone, and Demichelis, rest in peace and all that, he's gone as well. But it means there is a spot there for Adebayo to get the odd game, and he's already had obviously match day experience against Steaua Bucharest. And Otamendi, do you know what? He's looked solid so far as well. He looks more organised.
I think he's going to get a lot of time. As we were saying, as companies may get injuries, and he's obviously out.
There'll be suspensions as well, won't they?
He's going to get chances to play Otamendi, but this is the team that you would like to see.
Fullback. Sanya picked fan favourite Zabaleta. That says all about Sanya's stock, obviously. He was a man who allegedly flopped in his first season, but then once he settled, he was great last year, and he's a reliable, just kind of go-to person, really, isn't he? I think there was some doubts about the average age group of our fullbacks, and you can see there with Clichy, Kolarov, Sanya, Zabaleta. They're old. They're not young anymore in terms of fullback, but that's what you voted for, Sanya.
Yeah, and then Maffeo, he's probably going to get more and more time. Don't be surprised to see him coming on, especially with the cup competitions that we've got. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of him. And then, as you said, Clichy ahead of Kolarov. Now, remember, Kolarov is also going to be a centre-back option for Guardiola, although you haven't featured him here. But
I was
he's a
surprised,
possibility.
given how well he started the season, that you lot voted for Clichy over Kolarov.
Yeah.
Now, I think that obviously, I probably would agree with the hesitancy there, because we've seen Kolarov be excellent at times, but also just let us down a lot. So people still aren't fully trusting of Kolarov. And do you know what? Understandable.
Yeah.
For now, I would probably argue potentially he is probably a slightly better option in this current form, because he seems to have adapted to this game. But I understand people maybe choosing Clichy.
Clichy's been a club servant. He wears his heart on his sleeve.
He's reliable, if not excellent.
Yeah, exactly. He's done a good job, and he's one of the bargains of probably the last 10 years at City as well. Actually,
now this is where it got difficult, because how would you before I go on to how would you summarise a Guardiola midfield into position?
I mean, I could see him playing one here or two. It's hard to say, and I think when
I'll bring it on.
Bring it on. Yeah. So we've gone for two.
We tried to get you to choose between two central midfielders, but we could not put Silva in that option because we had Fernandinho, Gundogan, Delphi there, so they went there, and it was a resounding victory for Fernandinho and Gundogan. Two who will be used a lot, obviously, under Guardiola.
Yeah.
But the question now
options.
is, recently we've seen kind of one person as a holding kind of pivot. It's been Fernandinho. When Gundogan comes in, he'll be there. So where does Fernandinho go? That's the thing, because then someone drops out further up front, which we'll see in a bit. Fernandinho, could we finally maybe see him tried at centre-back if Gundogan takes over his role there? Now he's free.
We know that Guardiola likes players who can play in several positions, utility men.
Yeah.
So I think that Fernandinho could be one of those guys for Guardiola, and he's another fan favourite, isn't he? I think he was voted by the fans as player of the season last season, if not by the official one.
And Fernando didn't even make it. So Fernando is still there. He's somewhere in the ether, lost there, but he is still.
I'm not sure quite what the story is with Fernando, whether they tried to get him out or they were happy to keep him in.
But he didn't make the vote. He's in the squad, obviously, but he's actually in the Champions League squad ahead of Yaya Toure. Yaya it's unimaginable of the City teams of late to think of someone like Toure not being in the Champions League squad, because we had a manager now the last few years, and he'd play him regardless of his form. Yeah. It's fair to say we all appreciate what Yaya's done in general. We all do. He is a club legend, quite literally.
Yeah.
But he's just, Pep's like, well, you're not right for me at the moment.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I wonder whether Pellegrini felt like he had to pay Yaya because of his status at the club, because of the wages that we're paying him.
Yeah.
But I think Guardiola does not take any of that thing into account.
I think
if he sees as a youngster who's on £30,000 a week, and he's going to provide something better than someone who's on £200,000 or more pounds a week, he's going to play the kid, and he doesn't care about any
sound
of
business
that.
as well, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You use your strongest team, and that's what Guardiola does.
In terms of kids as well, there is Alex Garcia, who obviously didn't make the vote because there wasn't enough options on the poll. Sorry, Alex. But he is another option there potentially as well. And then Delph, obviously, he's behind there as another potential backup. But that's how you voted for that. Then we did a poll for the attacking midfielder, the one kind of just off the strikers, and this is how it came out. And the wingers there. I forgot they were on there too. Yeah. David Silva, we apologise. He hasn't made the team, which is, I think that's a situation where it was difficult to choose a certain role. But De Bruyne, you have voted him at the peak of the midfield three, so to speak, ahead of Silva. Now, I suspect this will change depending on the mood throughout the season. And we've seen David Silva actually play in the midfield too, haven't we? But that's surely what happened now. Gundogan's back as well. It's going to be interesting.
I think Silva's definitely going to get time.
Lots of time.
He scored 2 for Spain last night. I think we're going to witness something quite special of Silva back to his best, and he's going to give him a great headache, as you said.
He was great against West Ham as well.
De Bruyne, I mean, what can we say about De Bruyne? He's
phenomenal.
Class.
He's just a great player.
Arguably the first signing of the Pep Guardiola era.
Depending what you believe. Conspiracy theories here going.
Yeah, there was words that arguments, people that have said rumours that his name was whispered into the ears of cheeky Big Stein when he met with him, which he did meet with him. Yeah, why don't you just tell me, Pep? No one's here.
Knows it.
Writing on a napkin. But there's rumours they definitely did meet while he was still Bayern manager. So, and that was when I think around the time this was happening.
Yes, imagine him sat there to Bayern chairman the season before, like, do you want De Bruyne, Pep? Nah, rubbish.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you want him? Nah, he's rubbish.
No, don't go in for him. Don't go in for him.
I'll get him next. I mean, you can have him next season.
As long as he doesn't start signing players for another team when he's like
I watch him
about
do
to
that.
leave City now.
Yeah. But then onto the wings. This is where obviously got difficult. Sterling's in fine form, so it surprised me a little bit given how excited we were all about Sane. But Sterling pipped Sane, which I actually love that. I love that the fans are that happy with him in general, that we all rate him that much at the moment, that he is ahead. ahead of Sterling's ahead of Sane, because it shows, despite all the glamour, we do want Sterling to do well, and the fan base in general is behind Sterling at the moment, isn't it?
I think there's a very resolute kind of everyone's digging the heels.
He's one of ours now.
Yeah, because we get so much grief from the press unfairly. And not just about how he plays his football, but his personal life as well. I think City fans have got right behind him, which is great, and that's what we've got to do as City fans. That's what we're there for.
There'd be nothing more satisfying to me, genuinely, over any other player if he won Player of the Season.
Yeah,
that literally would. I would be delighted if Sterling over. Imagine the media breakdown.
The thing is, the thing is, we know that Aguero never gets into the team of the year, so don't expect Sterling necessarily. Just as long as he plays well for us, then that's the main thing.
But it shows the depth there as well. We've got Sane. If you've noticed, it looks a bit mad, but we did put left winger options as well with Sane and Sterling there as well. Yeah. But you've got Sane as backup on the right. Navas obviously is a decent little squad player. I think Pep will like him when he needs a backup. Then obviously on the left, and Nolito won the vote there. We did put Sane and Sterling there as well, because they both can play across the front three. Yeah. Obviously as well, the likes of Silva and De Bruyne can play out wide as well. Pep actually said he does see potentially De Bruyne playing out wide sometimes.
Yeah.
So there's lots of variations. But Nolito, I think that kind of clarifies the start he's had so far in a blue shirt, because you voted him left wing.
Yeah, okay, so a lot of the opposite. Loads of options there available for us in attacking midfield. We're blessed. Really.
I think we'll also see plenty of variance in formation. I think we'll all see that. I think we'll see players moving to different roles. I think we'll see some Silva sometimes in the midfield too, potentially with Gundogan or Fernandinho. We'll see maybe Sane playing as a false 9 kind of situation, or as a number 10. But then up front, obviously the options are Aguero and Kelechi, and Aguero won.
And as good as Kelechi is, we absolutely love him, and I think he's going to get lots of time. If Aguero picks up, suspensions and also injuries, Kelechi is going to get some minutes, and he seems like a dependable player. Doesn't seem to get injured, although there was a scare the other day. So I think when you've got a second striker, you need someone. Now we've not got Boney, of course. Thank you.
And someone who isn't on there, he should be there with an asterisk. But we forgot to add him. Gabriel Jesus, he'll be here in January.
That's it. I think we're looking at the immediate sort of going into the next few months. But Gabriel Jesus, we've not seen him play in a City shirt. He's not trained.
He looked
obviously
great for Brazil last night.
But that's just
2
another exciting
goals.
prospect. So he looks class.
So that's the options. And when you look at the team that isn't playing, so we've all got that. This isn't our starting 11. This is a rough one that got voted on Twitter. This will change. It'll change a lot. We all want to see different things. We all have different ideals. I couldn't even choose this. We spent ages trying to choose it.
I think this is, if we went into a game that we felt was a must-win, and we didn't think about anything else, what team would City most like to see?
It'd be roughly this, I'd say, about at least 9 out of 10 of this, I reckon.
But let us know what you think. Is there any are there any names missing off there? Do you think Sané will walk into the team? Sterling's making it very difficult for him.
Look at this
right
second
now.
team, just briefly. Caballero in goal, Zabaleta, Otamendi, Adebayo, Kolarov, Delph, Yaya, Sane, Silva, then Sterling, then potentially Kelechi. There's so many options. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and like as you said, Pep's going to have more games to play than he's ever had to play. In any of the other leagues, because we've got a second cup competition. He's had to play the qualifier before now, so it's going to be busy. Is this the strongest City team that you would field in a Champions League final if we get there? Let us know what you think. We think it's very strong. Can't wait to see what Pep thinks as well. Let us know what you think. Comment, subscribe, like, do all the rest of it, and we'll see you in a bit.